Okay, London and New York session done. Quick recap of those sessions before I recap the Asia session today. Took two trades in London, one on UK100, one on oil. UK100, higher time frames, bearish, weekly, monthly, daily breakout levels. Bearish, we're below the previous month high triggered right here. We're below that. We broke out below previous week low. And yesterday we faked out the previous day high. So when you're below a breakout low and faking out a previous high, that's a breakout continuation setup. So I'm trading a breakout continuation setup on the weekly. Once I saw this M15 fake out bar right at the previous day high, I was interested to sell, but there was actually news on the next candle. So I did wait to see if news would impact this setup. Did not do anything at all. So I ended up entering about 1 or 2 minutes after news. So I think maybe I got in a bit lower here. So entered like this, stop loss high of the day, targeting the previous day low, the low of the week. Whenever I'm trading weekly levels, my TP targets are weekly targets. So I was targeting the low of the week, which happens to be previous day low. Price bounced off this HA breakout level. Once I saw this, I went break even, got taken out break even here just shortly before the drop. So unfortunately, I did not catch this move. Left quite a lot on the table here, but yeah, that's just how trading goes. Always sucks when you see that, but that's just life as a trader. So break even on UK100, took a fake out setup on the daily, breakout continuation setup on the weekly. So that was one trade. Next trade I took was on oil. Oil higher time frames all bearish, broke out below previous week low, broke out below previous month low, was looking for high of the day sells. It was also a bearish breakout day yesterday, or 2 days ago. So I was looking for high of the day sells under this breakout level, this blue line here. So I was interested after I saw this M15 breakout bar that took out the last M15 bullish breakout level, but there was no follow through. Instead, price came back up and broke out above the previous H8 high, this green line here. Broke out above it. Next M15 was a inside bar, which creates a range. Initially, I was waiting for price to get above this so I could take an entry from up above. Instead, it came down and broke out below the range, and I opted to enter on this one, taking this as a M15 range breakout, targeting previous day low. Initially, trade was going in my direction about 1.5 R, and then the next M15 closed as an inside bar. Never like to see inside bars on the low time frames because they turn into ranges. I considered getting out of the position at this point, but one of my issues as a trader in my journey as a trader has been going on tilt when something like this happens. Um, if I go break even and then price takes me out at break even and then continues on towards my TP, if that happens to me too often, that's something that causes me to go on tilt. The other thing that's been a struggle for me in my journey has been reentries. If I exit and then I get another reentry, like for example, this one looks like a great reentry, I would enter there, and then I would take a loss. Something like that also causes me to go on tilt. So sounds ridiculous, but I would much rather just leave my position as is and then take a loss rather than get a break even that continues on. Or if something like this happens and I take a small loss by exiting early, and then I get another reentry, and then I enter again, and then I take a loss. Those are two losses. I count those as two losses, and that also causes me to go on tilt. So I would much rather just take one loss. And so I was still fine holding on to this position. The only time I would exit this is if it had closed above this H8 high. That tells me that I'm completely wrong. But as long as it was below the H8 high, I still have hope for it. So, yeah, I just ended up just taking this loss. Um, that's my own psychology. Everybody has their own way of handling things. But for me, I prefer not to go break even in these sort of situations. So yeah, those are the two trades I took in London. One on UK100 break even. Really sucks that I missed that move, and then one on oil where I was just thought it was good. Lots of higher time frame confluence. It just didn't go my way. That's just how it goes. Okay, so then New York session, I took two trades, one on US30, one on NAS. These are pretty straightforward ones. US30 trade, price pumped up at New York Open, faked out the previous H8 high right here, faked out the H1 high, and then faked out the M15 high. Triple fake out right there. Didn't need to see anything more than that. So I entered straight off of this candle, 1 bar stop in New York. I trade aggressively. Stop was also at the high of the day. Targeted the previous week low initially. This level, this gray level right here. So I took partials there, about 2.5 R on this one. And then after that, I trailed it on the M15 breakout levels. So once this M15 bullish breakout level took out the last M15 bearish breakout level, that's when I moved my stops all the way down and I got taken out as this move got started to reverse. So yeah, that's one trade that I took. High of the day reversal on US30. And then the next one I took was on NAS, which happened about an hour later. So almost exactly the same setup, but this one was on the daily instead. So we're below previous week low, higher time frames, all bearish. Uh, Looking for sells. Price pumped up at the open. I was waiting for a fake out of this H8 level. Didn't do that. Came back up. Faked out the previous day high right here. So actually, I entered right before that on this candle. Tried to get in early. Tight stop here. Something like this. Was holding it down to the previous day low. And it did not play out. Got another stop loss here. That's I trade aggressively in New York, so that's kind of what I would expect at sometimes. So took one stop loss there. Price came up and gave me an even better entry over here. So followed it through, faked out the what is this previous day high, faked out the H1 high right here, right at the high of the day, and so I entered on the break on this candle, and I got triggered in probably on this candle right here. I always look for a follow through of the trigger candle. So I entered probably on this candle, this green one right here, and then holding it down to the previous day low. TP at the previous day low right here, 5R. Price was going my way, and once it started to reverse, then I took partials on this one. So I took partials at 3.64. As I've said before in many videos, I don't want to give back. If I've made, I'm not going to give back 85%, all this profit just to make this tiny little bit. So I have an 85% exit rule that if price gets almost 85% to my target and starts to reverse, then I just take my profits. So yeah, took some partials there. I'm still in this one. Runners still going on this one, and yeah, that was it. Those were my two New York trades. Took two London trades. Break even on UK100. Loss on oil. Took a nice trade here on US30, and then took one loss on NAS, and then another nice trade on NAS, and that's it.